Hey there, and a huge, enthusiastic welcome to all our Grade 9 students tuning in from St. Paul American School, Clark. It's so great to be with you today. We are jumping into a brand new explainer for General English 9, Unit 5, Lesson 3. Today, we're going to analyze patterns of organization and interpret graphic aids. And honestly, the tools we're going to uncover today are real game changers for how you read and actually understand the information in front of you.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. First, our lesson objective. Second, patterns of organization. Third, interpreting graphic aids. Fourth, common misconceptions. Fifth, a quick knowledge check. And finally, number 6, our lesson recap.
All right, starting us off with Section 1, our lesson objective.
So, what is our actual goal here? Well, it's basically a two-parter. First up, we want to equip you with the skills to identify text structures, which is really just a fancy way of saying how a piece of writing is organized. And second, we want you to be able to systematically interpret graphic and visual aids. By the time we wrap up this explainer, you're going to know exactly how to decode visual data and recognize the underlying architecture of basically any text you read.
Moving right along to Section 2, patterns of organization.
Let's kick this off with a core definition. What in the world is a text structure? Put simply, it's just how information is organized in writing. You know, think of text structure like an architectural blueprint. Just like a builder absolutely needs a blueprint to know where the walls and windows go, a writer uses a pattern of organization to figure out where their ideas, facts, and details belong. When you, as the reader, can spot that blueprint, everything just makes so much more sense.
Now, there are 7 incredibly common patterns you're going to bump into all the time. We've got chronological, compare and contrast, order of importance, sequence, spatial, cause and effect, and problem and solution. Recognizing these 7 patterns is a strictly must-have tool for your reading comprehension. Why? Well, for one, spotting these structures is tested constantly on standardized exams. But more importantly, it helps you effortlessly navigate real-world reading. Once you spot the pattern, you instantly know how the author is feeding you the information.
All right, that brings us to Section 3, interpreting graphic aids. Now that we know how text is built, let's talk about visuals. Authors pack an incredible, literally massive amount of information into charts and graphs. To actually get meaning out of them, you have to pay attention to these common elements. You'll see titles and captions, legends and labels, and axes information, like the vertical Y data and the horizontal X data. But don't overlook things like the publication date, which tells you if the info is actually current, or the publisher, which is super important for figuring out if the visual is credible. Plus, authors use color, size, and spatial positions to help you compare and contrast data at a single glance.
Look, I totally get it. It's super easy to feel intimidated by a complex, messy-looking chart. So, let's slow it down for a second. Here is a foolproof 6-step interpretation process to make sure you never get lost. Step 1. Just read the title to get a sense of the subject. Step 2. Read any heading or subheading for a bit more context. Step 3. Read the source. Is this data actually trustworthy? Step 4. Read the categories, legends, or keys so you know how things are labeled. Step 5. Identify what the data is specifically saying right there in front of you. And finally, Step 6. Take a step back and identify the overall trends or patterns. Follow those 6 steps, and no graph will ever intimidate you again, for sure.
Let's switch gears a bit for Section 4, common misconceptions.
Okay, get ready for a bit of a reality check. A huge myth out there is that a piece of writing uses just one single organizational pattern from start to finish. But the reality? Text structures may change frequently from paragraph to paragraph within a single piece of writing. Writing is super dynamic. An author might start with a chronological history in paragraph 1, jump to compare and contrast in paragraph 2, and wrap up with a problem and solution. Texts just don't fit perfectly into one single box, so you really have to stay on your toes as you read.
Almost done. Here is Section 5, our knowledge check.
Let's see what's stuck from earlier. Think back to that strategy we used to avoid getting overwhelmed by visual data. What is the absolutely very first step in the 6-step process for interpreting graphics and visual aids? I'll give you just a second to lock your answer in.
Got it? The answer is, Step 1 is to read the title, to gain a sense of the subject. Awesome job if you nailed that. It sounds almost too simple, right? But remembering that the title is your vital gateway to understanding the whole visual will save you so much time and headache on your future assignments.
And that brings us to Section 6, our final lesson recap.
Let's bring the whole shebang together with a rapid-fire summary. Number 1. You now know how to identify patterns of organization, like chronological or cause and effect, which act as the text's hidden blueprint. Number 2, you know to always remember that text structures are dynamic and can literally change from one paragraph to the next. And number 3, you are fully equipped to interpret graphic aids systematically, using that 6-step process, starting with the title and ending with those big picture trends.
I want to leave you with one final thought today. Next time you open your books for an assignment, I want you to actively ask yourself, how does the author's chosen structure or graphic change the way I understand the data? Don't just gloss over the words. Actually look at how the text is built and how those visuals are guiding your brain. Apply these skills and I promise your reading comprehension is going to absolutely soar. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, Grade 9. Keep analyzing, keep exploring, and I'll catch you on the next one.